In this next set of problems, we're told to simplify each expression by combining like terms. So recall, a like term is any term or set of terms that have the same variables and the same exponents on those variables. So here we've got 6a minus 8a plus 4a. So all of them have a's, so they're all like terms. So when they're all like terms, we just add or subtract their coefficients, which is the number out front. So 6 minus 8 will be negative 2, and negative 2 plus 4 will be 2. And the a just tags along for the ride since he is the term that makes them like. So number 31 is 2a. Let's slide over for number 32. And we have 7x minus 5x squared plus 3x squared minus x. So we've got an x here and an x here, and an x squared here and an x squared here. So while all the terms have x's, all the x's don't have the same exponent in each case. So the 7x and the minus x, and remember there's a minus 1 right there when there's no other value placed, so 7 minus 1 is 6x, and then negative 5x squared plus 3x squared is negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2x squared. So number 32 is 6x minus 2x squared. And let me make a point that it's perfectly fine to say negative 2x squared plus 6x if you rather write it that way. When you are reordering terms, always keep the sign in front of the term. So the negative goes with the 2x squared, and the 6x isn't negative, so he's considered positive, so that's why the plus sign went in front of that guy. So sliding back over for 33, we have 1/2 m minus 2n minus 2/3 m plus 3n. So here's an m and here's an m, and both of those have fractions, and then an n there and an n there. So let's go ahead and get those fractions out of the way. We have 1/2 m minus 2/3 m, and then minus 2n plus 3n. I just went ahead and reordered these terms so I could see what went together. And now my 2 and my 3 will get like denominators of 6's, so it's 1, let's see, times by 3 here and times by 3 here makes this a 3 right there, m. And then times by 2 here and times that by 2 here will give me a 4m. And then I can go ahead and put these together. That negative 2 plus 3 is 1n, so I can just say plus n. So 3 minus 4 is negative 1/6 m plus the n we had from a while ago. So the final value for 33 is negative 1/6 m plus n. Slide over for 34. We've got p squared minus p plus 5 plus 2p minus p squared minus 9. So lots of different things going on here. Here's a p squared and here's a p squared. And I have 1p squared minus 1p squared. So actually those p squareds just cancel each other out. So I can completely ignore them. My p's here is negative 1p plus 2p. So negative 1 plus 2 is 1p. So I'll put a p. And then now we have our constants, which is 5 and a minus 9, so 5 minus 9 will be minus 4. So number 34 is p minus 4. And our final one for the combining like terms will be 7ab squared minus a squared b, and so on. We got a whole slew of these things. Be careful of what is being squared. In this case, the b is being squared, so we're going to look for other things where the b is being squared. Here's one, and here's one. It appears that the others have the a being squared, so I'll put 2 underlines under those. So the single underlines are 7, minus 3 is 4, plus 1 is 5, ab squared. And then the others are negative 1, plus 8 is 7, minus 5 is a positive 2, a squared b. And again, it doesn't matter what order you put them in. You could just as easily say 2a squared b plus 5ab squared. No big thing. In this next set, we're told to simplify each expression using the distributive property, then by combining like terms where necessary. So in the first one, we're going to distribute. So 6 times 7a will be 42a, and then 6 times a negative 2 will be minus 12. And since this has an a and this does not have an a, they are not like terms, so we cannot put anything more together. Okay, let's slide over to number 37. where we are distributing a -8. So this -8 will go here and here, and you really got to watch the signs when you're distributing a negative. So -8 times 5 is a -40, and a -8 times -b, the negative and the negative cancel out to make a positive, and 8b. And if you want to rewrite this, you could rewrite this 8b minus 40, but the -40 plus 8b is fine, just the same it is, just the way that it is. So, okay, 38, we got a fraction here. We're going to distribute a 2/3 through there. So you can pretend that each one of these is over 1 if you want to. And a 3 and a 9 will kind of cancel out, and this will become a 3, and this one will go away because it goes to a 1, so we'll cover it up for a second. We can't cross it out because we also have to use it for the other term, so I'm just going to kind of hide it instead of cancel it out. So we have -2 times 3c is -6c, and then we have 2/3 times 5, the negative will come along for the ride because it's negative times a positive is a negative, and 2 times 5 is 10 over 3. So number 38 is -6c minus 10/3. Okay, slide down a little and we'll hit 39 real quick. And this one has two distributive property business deals going on here. So the first one we're going to distribute a 3, and the second one we're going to distribute a -5. So the 3 goes to the 7 to become a 21d, and 3 times -2 is -6. -5 times 2 is a -10, and a -5 times a -3 is a positive 15d. Be very, very careful of this. When you're distributing a negative here, and there's already a negative here, the two negatives will cancel and make a positive sign right here. Lots of students have a problem with missing that, and they make this a minus, and they bring it down, and they don't use this negative out here, so don't do that. So 21d and 15d make 36d, and a -6 minus 10 makes -16. So that one is 36d minus 16. Okay, we slide over for the last one now, and it's going to be a fraction one as well. So the 3/5 is getting distributed, and the -1/4 is being distributed. So 3/5 times 12 over 1, and then times the -5. So 3 times 12 is 36 over 5, and that cannot reduce. So it's 36 over 5p. And then in this case, the 5 here and the 5 here will cancel, so you just have 3 times a -1 is a -3. And then here we'll put them over 1, and a 1/4 times 8, so those will cancel, and you just get minus a 2. And then a minus a negative right there will be plus, so the negative times a negative, and then you have 5 over 4p. So it looks like these constants here are really nice. -3 minus 2 is going to be a -5, so we'll put them out there. And then we have to deal with this p business out here, so we've got plus 36 over 5p, and then plus 5 over 4p. Well, between 5 and 4, my common denominator will be 20. So I'll say 20p plus over 20p. What did we have to do to this 5 to make 20? Multiply by 4. So 36 times 4 will be 144. Multiply this guy by 5, so the top by 5. 5 times 5 is 25. And make sure we have that -5 coming along for the ride the entire time here. So we have 144 plus 25, which will be a 169 over 20p. And you are not going to be able to reduce that, so that's our answer right there. -5 plus 169 over 20p. And that finishes that set of 10 problems.